Welcome along, ladies and gentlemen. It's round 6, and you join us here at Spa for the Belgium Grand Prix. And it's not raining yet, but you never know at this particular circuit. Rain is always a grave threat here, and a lot has changed since the last race, and we'll cover that here in a bit. But before we do so, let's go ahead and take a look at this marvelous track. Spa-Francorchamps, 4.35 miles long with 19 corners, 10 to the left and 9 to the right, and about 150 meters from pole to the braking zone down at turn 1, and elevation changes of about 102 meters. Now, if you were wondering about the tire compounds, the soft compound, the C4, the medium compound, the C3, and the hard compound, the C2. It's a long lap here, around about 1 minute and 40 seconds apiece, and a lot can go wrong in between. And unlike previous races, we might be lucky enough to see the soft compound tire come out and play this week, but will the drivers be able to hold up? Only time will tell. Good evening, everyone. We are back here in Spa, and as always, I am joined by my co-commentator, Electric Entree. How are you doing tonight?
Man, we're doing great. How are you, man? Glad to have you back.
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. I did have a little bit of a leave of absence, but we are back, and we are back commentating the best league in the COS series, the AM1 tier, and we are here at Spa-Francorchamps here in Belgium. Kicking off qualifying. We have about 16 minutes left for the drivers to get all of their laps in, and we are right now on board with Techie Corgi on his out lap. Electric, I don't know if you've done any track research, but what do you think is like a good lap time for a possible pole position tonight?
Oh man, around here it's a long track, it's a long lap. I think we're looking probably. I'm trying to think back to what we had.
I would think maybe
sessions.
Around like the 140s, maybe like yeah. High 130s, something around like that.
I would think that sounds right. Without looking at the data, that sounds right.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see once the drivers get out on track and they start putting in pole laps. It looks like Cost Mindset is already on his way. He's going down into turn 1. This is a very, very long track. Not super technical, but it can definitely catch you out. There's definitely a couple of turning complexes that can get you. And as Cost Mindset goes to the famous Eau Rouge, coming down into this back straight. This back straight, one of our DRS zones tonight. A very long straight, and I'd probably expect to see a lot of overtaking opportunities happen down into this turn right here. Cost Mindset with a 30-second first sector time. That's not bad, but we should be able to see some improvement. Red Devil, he's on his lap as well. Both of the Williams, they have been one of the favorites for this league, I guess. They've been cooking. They've been going real fast. Ferrari last week had a bit of a struggle. G-Boon, he's our championship leader. He got knocked out pretty early in the race if you didn't watch last week. But we'll see how he does tonight, but I would expect Williams to be on top tonight.
Yeah, Devil's certainly got the pace. He's certainly got the pace. He's sitting second in the driver's standings right now. He's 13 points to G-Boon, and Boone getting knocked out early last week. That definitely let Devil close the gap, and I'm sure Boone's going to be looking to protect his lead tonight. But Red Devil certainly has the pace. Ramon, Johnny Damon, he's had a win. Pucks is up there, and then you've got Fluffy, our newcomer Redog, who had his AM1 debut last week. He had a lot of pace in AM2. Looked like he had some pretty good pace last week. So it's definitely a tough field, and it's a long track, long laps. You're going to have to battle tire deg. We've seen some rain earlier in the week with the other tiers. So who knows what the weather's going to do? That could come in and play a factor. But
yeah, of course,
lot could happen here. A lot of guys gunning for it. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, and that was it. While you were talking, Cost Mindset, I guess he lost it in the last sector there. Lost his time. He's going to have to put in another lap. We're on board with Ronamoval right now. He is coming through sector 2. He's on a pretty decent lap. G-Boon as well. He put on a pole lap. What a lap from him. And Red Devil, he also put in a pretty fast lap as well. He's on his in lap, and I mean, it's a lot. We'll see if Fluffy can put in a decent lap time. He's gonna go sixth with a 141. That's not a bad lap time at all. But I would definitely expect those lap times to get down just a little bit, maybe around the 140s. I think G-Boom put in around a 140, 141. We'll see. It's only the first time that these drivers have put in their laps tonight, and we still have 2 more rounds to go. So,
yeah, this is the first laps out. We're 141, 1.6 second gap there, 141.2 to 142.8. I think we had a prediction there in the chat. They were saying looking for pole to be in the low to mid 140s. So, track evolution comes into play here in qualifying. Maybe get those times down another half a second to a second drop in the qualifying times here.
Yep, exactly. In qualifying, it's going to be a little bit tighter today because it's the same session time, but the track is obviously a lot longer than most of the tracks we've been at. So, I mean, drivers they're not going to have much time in the pits. They're going to be in and out of the pits pretty quickly here. A lot of drivers are on their in laps coming back into the pits. G-Boon finally got back to the pits, and we are on board with Fire Gabe. He is subbing in for one of the Alpha Tauris tonight, and we'll see how he does on his debut race, and we'll see if he can get himself into the top 10 in qualifying. That'd be a great debut.
Yeah, that's right. And while we're at it, speaking of qualifying times, if you don't care to pull up the times on the leaderboard there, for the viewers, and so we've Fire Gab, he's in, subbing in for Alpha Tauri, and I'm trying to find it here. We have another reserve driving as well tonight, and I cannot find my list here. Here we go. Okay, Fire Gab in for Squarenzi and an Alpha Tauri. Orlando, he's coming back into AM1 again tonight, reserving for Sean Boy and the Red Bull. And then we also had some new faces here as full-time drivers in AM1 as well. Potty, you'll see him in the McLaren. He is replacing Saint with a full-time seat. So this will be his AM1 full-time debut this week here at Spa.
Yeah, congratulations to him. This is a difficult debut race to have, and I'm sure he'll take advantage of it. I mean, that McLaren seat, it is gone through the ringer. It was Texas Tornado and Ecos Saint. Now it's Potty and Avira, and hopefully it doesn't change again. But we'll see. You never know. If you're not putting in the results, I guess you get booted at McLaren. But
Zach
we'll
Brown's
see.
having a field day trying to find a good driver there.
Hey, but I think he's finally found his drivers, and we'll see if Potty can convert on that today as we are getting ready for Cars Ben to start his lap in the Alfa Romeo. He's going on a bit of a slow through the bus stop chicane, and he's going to get a good exit to start his lap. And a lot of other drivers are on their out laps as well, but we're going to go ahead and watch Cars Ben as he kicks off his second lap here in qualifying. And G-Boon, he's also on his out lap. He's around almost to sector 2, and he should be getting it out shortly. Ron Mobile, he is on an out lap, or I think an in lap actually, and hopefully we can get some drivers going here pretty quick soon. It's been a bit of a break, and hopefully thinking about strategy tonight. Rain is definitely a possibility, and in Spa, rain happens almost every single race here, and I'm honestly surprised it's dry still, but we'll see during the race if rain becomes a factor.
Yeah, I know we I think we had a little bit of rain in AM3, maybe during qualifying, or it was close. I don't remember exactly if we ever actually got the rain. I know they had rain in AM2 last night, and it certainly kept them on their toes.
Yeah, it'll cause havoc.
I think they had 3 safety cars and a virtual safety car last night in AM2.
Wow.
So, then this track, like it's sector 2 and sector 3, they got some turns. kind of technical, especially through sector 2. But like there's so much speed to be had here that when you combine that with the rain, and then when you come to those technical sectors, you can definitely see them slide off the track, just lose traction. It's certainly, and then especially like at sector 2, coming down off the hill, those through those like S turns and the tight right hander there, like definitely chances to bump into each other and cause some carnage.
There's a lot of high-speed corners in this track, and if you're not careful, you can easily lose all that time you've worked for in a qualifying lap. If you, especially right here, if you ride the curb too much, then you're toast, and you're not going to be able to even make it to this section. This section is pretty difficult too. You have to keep it close to the apex, not ride it completely. Hit it wide to the left right here. Hit this curb on the right, cut the corner to the left, and it shoots you straight. And then you might have to let off the throttle just a little bit right here. Keep it as tight as you can, as tight and neat. And G-Boon's going to be able to do that. And we're going to go ahead and look onto Red Devil as well. He's right behind G-Boon. And this sector 2, especially right here, if you don't have good throttle control, you can very easily lose it, especially in the rain. And that's what makes this track so difficult in the rain. Red Devil, he's about 2/10 up on his previous lap time. Will he be able to come in clutch through the bus stop chicane and maybe be able to make up some time? G-Boon, he's looking pretty solid going into the bus stop chicane. He's going to cut not enough of the chicane. Will he be able to increase his lap time? Oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna go 3/10 quicker with a 140.864. That's a great lap from him. QRL Ramona is gonna overtake Red Devil into second place. He's moving with that Alpine.
Yeah, Devil, I guess he just wasn't happy with that lap. He jumped into the pits there. Ramon comes in, grabs that second. But it looks like, the prediction we had in chat starting to come true. We're starting to get down to the 140s now. And still, though, I mean, we've got 5.5 minutes left in this qualifying session. And, this is one of the more spread out qualies I think we've seen from AM1 so far. We've got almost a 3-second gap from first to 18th out of 19. So we're first to 16. We have 2 that haven't set a lap yet. But I would say we're going to see, especially right there at the end, guys coming in right at the buzzer, going to tighten that up a little bit. But it's still definitely wild to see it spread out this much.
Yeah, and these are just their banker laps. I can't imagine how tightly spread the field's going to be when people actually start pushing for laps. And Bischolz in the Ferrari, he had a great lap. He was about 3/10 down on his previous lap, and that's going to put him into 5th. And he's almost into that 141 and a half range, and we'll see if he can get up there in his next qualifying lap.
Yeah, I mean, he's right at a 10th behind Devil in 4th, and he's right at a 10th ahead of just Jose there. And well, never mind, Fire Gab is just overtaking him there by 45 hundredths of a second. So that'll bump Schultz down to 6, Fire Gab in 5th, and we don't have 2 Ferraris in the top 5 anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, you love to see a Ferrari in the top 5, but you also love to see this field spread we got going on. It is pretty widely spread of the different cars up here, and we're also seeing some new names. Redog, he's currently in 2nd. He put on a banger of a lap time to put him up into 2nd place. Will he be able to convert on another lap once again? If that was just his banker lap, I'm scared to see what Redog can do here in the final stages of qualifying. Techie Corgi, he's another name that we're used to hearing. He's down in 15th. His teammate in the Alpine, QRL Ramon, he's up in 3rd. I think Techie Corgi might have struggled a little bit on his first lap, and he is on his out lap, so we'll see if he's going to be able to improve, but only time will tell.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of Redog, we knew he was quick. He got bumped up from AM2 to AM1 for a reason, and he's showing why right there with that 141.2.
Hopefully No Pucks Given can put in a pretty decent lap. Are these... I wonder... I wish they would show me how much time is left in qualifying. We have a caution on Sector 3. And I think all the drivers are going into the pits to be able to start their last push laps. We have about 2 minutes and 45 seconds left of qualifying, and we're about to get the last laps of qualifying kicked off here at Spa. Another person to look out for is the Johnny Damon and Fluffy in the Astons. Those guys are quick. We have seen it before. The Johnny Damon, he won at Zandvoort by an absurd margin, close to 10 seconds. And if you didn't watch the race last week, here are the race results. And it was Ronamoval who won the race. QRL Ramon got second, and Red Devil got third. Finishing the podium, and then Cost Mindset in fourth, BK in fifth, J Supreme in sixth, RVA Camp in seventh, Techie Corgi in eighth, Fire Gab in ninth, and Redog in 10th, and Goya Ninja in 11th, Cars Ben in 12th, Avira in 13th, No Pucks Given in 14th, Kryptonic Swing in 15th, Orlando in 16th, the Johnny Damon in 17th, and then the two Ferraris that had a bit of a rough race last week, and they are at the bottom. So let's go ahead and shoot it back to live.
Yep, we've got a minute 30 left in this quali session, and everybody's on their out laps. Boone's still in the pits, as well as Fire Gab and Pucks. But other than that, everyone's either setting a lap or on an out lap. They're trying to get it in right here at the end and improve those times.
Wait, could you not hear me during the driver standings? The race results? Or could you hear me?
No, I just got you.
Okay.
I had you.
Okay. Because it wasn't coming up on the thing. I was worried you couldn't hear me. All right. Oh, and Fire Gab retires from the session. That's an early retirement we weren't expecting to see.
Yeah, he may have retired in the pits there. I think I just said he was in the pits. But, yeah, Redog's retired, Fire Gab. I think Avira had a qualifying ban, maybe. He retired pretty early. He never set a lap time. Mindset still has yet to set a lap. I think he's on his push lap now. He better be with 30 seconds left in the session. Excuse me.
Yeah, and Orlando, he's about 2/10 down going through Sector 2. We'll see if he can improve on his Sector 2 time. And if he can, he might just be able to bump himself into the top 5. There isn't much between him here. And we are seeing some raindrops here at Spa. It is possible that drivers could get caught off guard and then not be able to finish their laps because the slick tire won't have enough grip for the rest of this race. And Orlando bails on his lap. I wonder if that was rain induced or maybe he was just letting his teammate through. BK is stuck down in 11th. He is on a flyer as well. And maybe that was some tactical decisions there by Red Bull to hopefully get their teammate closer and into the top 10 before the start of the race, and maybe get his lap time done before the rain is too much to handle. G-Boon has put in a 140.8, and that is the lap time to beat Redog. He is out of this session, and Red Devil, he's on a 141. Will Red Devil be able to finish out qualifying with a faster time? No, he's going to be stuck in 3. And a lot of drivers are coming across the line. BK is going to stay in 11th. And I think rain kind of ruined the rest of that qualifying session there.
Yeah, it looks like it's spitting a little bit. But while you're going over that mindset, he went from not having a time. He shot himself up into 4th place with a 141.4. So he'll be right behind Devil, unless one of these guys here coming in, who we have left. Fluffy, Potty, Techie. Oh, Fluffy and Potty, I think, are the last ones out right now. Who haven't Devil invalidated, so yeah, I think. Yeah,
and Potty's going slowly, so
yeah, it looks like that's going to stand. Yeah, Potty is he's invalidated as well, so I think we're pretty much seeing what we've got for the race now.
Yep.
So
it's time to go racing, guys. It's this is your qualifying results. It's G-Boon in first, Redog in second, Red Devil in third, Cost Mindset. He had a great lap there at the end. Didn't put any other laps in, just went out last lap, put himself in fourth. QR Ramon in fifth, and Fluffy puts himself in sixth. Fire Gab in seventh, B Shoals in eighth, and Orlando in ninth, and Ronamoval finishing out the top 10. And BK is in 11th. No Pucks Given in 12th. The Johnny Damon in 13th. Kryptonic Swing 14th. Potty on his debut goes 15th. And we will see the rest of the drivers once we get out onto the grid. But Electric, I mean, what's your race predictions for this race here?
Well, I mean, you know, the front, the guys we spoke about in qualifying, the front that we were just speaking about, the front runners, they have qualified towards the front. I mean, Boone, Redog, Devil, Mindset, Ramon, Fluffy, you know, they're all up there. I'm looking for Boone to come back from his early retirement last week. I think him and Devil, and I think if Mindset can keep it clean, he's got a chance for a podium here. Ramon's got a lot of pace, and Fluffy has a lot of pace. They'll certainly be looking to bring it from 5th and 6th to the podium. So I think any of those in the top 6 right now for sure are ones to watch out for to get a podium here. But I think Boone's gonna if he can keep out ahead, I think he's got a good shot for first again.
Yeah, and you know what I'm interested in to see is I want to see how these new drivers are. Potty, Fire Gap. I want to see how these drivers are going to perform on a track like this. It's not for the faintest of hearts here at Spa. It's a long track. There's a lot of possibilities for errors here. There's only 22 laps tonight, but the lap time definitely makes up for it. We'll see if they have the stamina to be able to endure the pressure here in AM1.
Yeah, and another thing too, where it is such a long lap, if the weather comes in, it also opens up to the possibility of it. If you try to set up for the wet, and then it's wet part of the track and it's dry part of the lap, and then you're spending a lot of time burning up those wet tires or the intermediates. So it's definitely hard to gauge where you need to set up or as far as like your tire choice until it's just raining across the whole track, and that can also bring in some errors as well, or just not quite what you want with your setup, and it's there's a lot to consider here.
Yeah, and it could just be smarter for people to, even though it's raining on some parts of the track, to stay on the slick tires, because maybe most of the track is dry, or maybe if it's just in certain corners, they're going to put on the wets to maybe negate spinning in those corners. But I mean, only time will tell. It looks like the rain is slightly dissipated here towards the end of qualifying and the start of this race, but we'll see if the rain comes back with a vengeance here later in this race. 22 laps. We are about to kick off round 6 of the AM1 tier of the contest of speed, ladies and gentlemen. And let's get your predictions in chat. And if you haven't already followed the contest of speed on Twitch, go ahead, give us a follow, and it'll be greatly appreciated. You can catch us here for the AM1 tier every Thursday night at 8 p.m. And yeah, it's a lot of racing, a lot of good action here, and I'm excited to see what we can do. I'm excited to see what the drivers can do today. Let's see if they can put on a nice show.
Oh, I'm sure we'll have a great show for us. They haven't disappointed us so far in the past 5 weeks of racing. Sure, we're looking at a 6th week of great racing as well. And speaking of, give us a follow here on Twitch. Also, if you want to take part in this great league, hit us up on our Discord. We'll link it here in the chat. Sign up, join the Discord. We'd love to have you. We have American tiers, European tiers. Trying to get an Oceanic tier started and a PC only tier maybe as well. We definitely have lots of options for the race, crossplay, all that.
But it's 5 red lights out, and the drivers are off. G-Boon gets away well, and it looks like Redog is going to be right up wheel to wheel behind him. He's going to go try around to go around the outside. He stays wide. G-Boon manages to cut in, but it's Red Devil right down the inside of Redog. He's going to try and take the place, going down into Eau Rouge. Not many drivers have had much mistakes here, and it looks like Cost Mindset's going to get himself up into 4th place. It looks like he lost that place at the beginning to QRL Ramon, and they're coming down into this first straight, but it looks like Redog might be able to get the slipstream on G-Boon. Will he be able to take him around the outside? There might be contact, and there's contact, and it looks like lots of damage. Red Devil is out. Cost Mindset is up into 1st. He was in 4th place. G-Boon made contact with Redog in 19th in the AlphaTauri. QRL Ramon, he manages to keep his place, and lots of damage, lots of havoc coming out of that first turn. It looks like the major losers of that were Redog, Fluffy, and Potty.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but I believe Redog kind of brought that one on himself. Looks like he did not. He's trying to squeeze Boone there on the inside of that turn, and kind of got into him a little bit, and it just bounced, spun him around. And I don't think he has anyone to blame but himself for that one.
Yeah, there was a lot of front wing damage there. I saw parts flying everywhere. There isn't a safety car or a VSC, but there is a penalty on Cars Ben. I'm not sure what that was for or how much the penalty is worth. But if you're looking at the tire strategies today, it looks like they're going to be lapping around 9 or 10 going into the pits. A lot of drivers are on the softs tonight, and we'll see how that pays off. We'll see how the deck is doing. But Cost Mindset is thrusting himself out into the lead, and G-Boon has managed to keep a spot even though he had contact.
Yeah, that's right. So speaking of the penalty there on Cars Ben, that's a 5-second he has, which I would assume was for some kind of contact with another car. Usually that's what the 5 seconds are for, especially this early in the race. Either that or he cut a corner trying to avoid the carnage. But my guess would be some kind of contact.
Yeah, and G-Boon has managed to overtake Cost Mindset and put himself back into the lead. I guess he didn't have too much side pod damage, and he is all the way back to the top. Now, let's go ahead and look at the tires for today's race. It's a bit of a mix here tonight. G-Boon is on the softs, and the rest of the top 5 is mainly on the mediums, except for the other Ferrari and B-Shoals, who's also on the soft. But it's pretty much a mixed match of tires here tonight. And a lot of the drivers towards the back, especially Fluffy, Potty, and Red Devil, they're all on the hards. And I mean, they might have just switched to the hards, but we'll see how the hards do in this race tonight. And I'm also curious to see how the softs do as well.
Yeah, like we've said it multiple times already tonight. It's such a long lap, and it's only a 22-lap race for a 50% distance. The softs aren't going to last that many laps here. If 4 to 6 laps, I would say maybe would be the ideal range, maybe to hit a pit stop there. I know it had a tire graphic or the pit stop strategy earlier, and I missed it. But just going off of my experience, I think 4 to 6 laps. So maybe especially Boone being up front with the softs, I think he's looking to get ahead and maybe catch a safety car here, and get off those softs. But it looks like he's doing all right so far. He hasn't quite managed to break that DRS from Mindset, but he does have a 7/10 gap on him now, and as DRS gets enabled this lap, so that'll keep Mindset in play for now.
Yeah, and towards the middle of this pack here, down in 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. We've got a lot of drivers that are all close and bunched up together. I think a little bit of a DRS train is starting to form here in the early stages of this race. And then we might see Avira try and make an overtake here on Fire Gab. It could happen where we saw damage at the beginning of this race. No, he's not going to make an attempt there. He might try it in the later stages of this race. We're moving down into Sector 2 here, going down the hill, and we're about to head back up it here soon. But Avira tries, he cuts the corner just a little bit there, hops on the curb, loses a little bit of exit speed, and can't manage to get the overtake done. He's still trying to fight Fire Gab. Will he be able to get the move done as he goes down the hill towards Sector 3? It looks like BK might have gone a little bit wide, and he might lose his place to Fire Gab there, and BK is out of the top 10, but BK is fighting back. There's a lot of scrapping here towards the middle of this pack here, and Avira manages to get through past Fire Gab. He picks up the scraps. Will he be able to get past BK as well? Yes, he does. Avira is having a race tonight, ladies and gentlemen. He is just overtaken. Wow, it is still wheel to wheel. They're going back and forth, and there's a lot of racing here towards the middle of Sector 3. As they're coming down towards the bus stop chicane, there could be a lot of damage here as we're hitting this braking zone. They almost go 3 wide. A lot of...
Wow, what a move by Avira there. Shot around the outside to the inside on that second part of the bus stop. Just slingshotting around. That was great. That was a great move from Avira.
Yeah, and Fluffy tries to go down towards the inside. Fluffy trying to make a move. Can he get the move done? He's banging and bumping BK, but he manages to get past him. And wow, what a race we're seeing already on lap 4.
Yeah, we have another penalty here. Taking Corgi with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And I did check the race director. car's been there, he has that 5-second penalty. That was from ignoring yellow flags, I guess, during that lap 1 collision fest we had started by Redog.
Yeah, and G-Boon has lost his place to Cost Mindset in front. And Cost Mindset is really starting to pull away. Those softs might already be starting to degrade for G-Boon here. And, I mean, we'll see how many laps they last. He should be towards the middle of his stint, but if he's pushing a little bit too hard on those tires, he might be getting a little bit of unnecessary damage there. Still a lot of action down in the back of this pack, down at around 11, 12, 13, 14. And still a pretty tight-knit group there, but Fluffy has managed to get through as well. He's in 11. J Supreme just got past BK. BK is struggling a little bit in that Red Bull. Maybe his tires are also starting to degrade a little bit, or maybe he's just saving his battery for the later stages of this race.
Well, BK, he's also on those on the softs as well, and you know all that. I mean, there was some hard racing we just saw right there. You know, that's putting wear on the tires quickly too. And I'm sure the same for, you know, we were speaking of Boone. I think the same thing. You know, he was trying to get that gap from Mindset, and he just wasn't able to do it. And that, you know, that just pushing on those soft tires like that on such a long lap, and you know, in a lot of high speed turns, it wears them out pretty quickly if you're not careful. You don't look after them.
Exactly, and BK is trying to overtake the other McLaren. The other one got by him. He's not going to let this one get by. He's really trying to get that exit speed going down through a Rouge. He's going to be following tightly. It's difficult to follow through in a Rouge. Can he keep it clean? Yes, he can. BK is going to have a lot of slipstream to go ahead and attack Potty and the McLaren, but Fire Gab as well. He's also on the tail of BK. Can he get past him? Going down through the end of this straight. We'll see here. BK and Fire Gab are gonna get past Potty, and Potty's starting to fall on his debut.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're seeing the end of it here. You know, it's such close racing. They're staying close. I think they're pretty well matched in pace. I think we're going to see a lot of switching back and forth between those three for sure. And while that was going on, G-Boon has managed to take the lead back from Mindset with a DRS overtake in that same straight. So, you know, he's back up to a 6/10 gap. I'm sure we come around to the front straight here and the DRS opens up. I'm sure that's going to be cut down again. But he has managed for the time being to retake that first position.
And Entree, you know what this is reminding me of? This is reminding me of Austria. Remember towards the latter stages of that race, it was Cost Mindset and G-Boon overtaking each other. They were going back and forth per lap, and it was a pretty interesting spectacle to watch towards the end of that race. But if you remember, Cost Mindset started to lose just a little bit. And did he lag out that race? I can't remember.
Something happened.
Or it might have been Vama Nubel. I can't remember.
I think that's right. Yeah, it was Vamu, and then I think he did lag out. Yeah, because then it was Boone and I think Red Devil that ended up on the podium there after Austria. But see, and here we go, Mindset again taking the lead against Boone. Boone staying close on him, but with that DRS overtake, it really sets him up to catch up and get past him there. So yeah. Boone just going to follow him into sector 2 and see what happens.
I think Boone's just gonna kind of stay in the tailwind of Mindset until he gets into that next DRS zone on the next lap. Overtake him again there. I mean, we might see them box opposite of each other when it comes time to do pit stops, but they are on different strategies though. Because Cost Mindset, he's on the mediums, G-Boone's on the softs. So we're gonna see G-Boone coming a little bit earlier, have fresher tires, do a little bit of an undercut, but Cost Mindset's gonna have a faster second stint. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of opposite strategies, you know, it's funny because both G-Boone and B-Shoals, they're both on the soft tires. So somebody's going to have to, you know, when it comes time, either one's going to have to undercut or one's going to have to stay out. They're both on those softs, and you know, although you know if they can space it out right, may be able to get like a slight double stack. But I don't know if I would want to chance it.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see when the pit time comes around.
A double stack in the video game sounds a little bit daunting. They might try and let B-Shoals go maybe another lap past G-Boone, kind of see how that soft is doing, or maybe G-Boone is going to go out just a little bit longer to try and compete with the longer tire degradation of Cost Mindset. But I mean, we'll see if G-Boon still has the pace in those tires to get around Cost Mindset in this DRS zone right here. He should have the speed, and we're going to go on board with him now. We'll see if he can get that closing speed down. He's going to have about another 10 miles an hour, but he's not going to be able to get past Cost Mindset going into that DRS zone, and that could spell the end of G-Boon's race.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Boone's got a lot of racing IQ, I think, and I think he might be where he wants to be now, and just kind of saving his ERS up, using that DRS, maybe overtaking Mindset when the DRS allows him, and then letting him have it back. I don't think he's wanting to push too hard at the stage. He just wants to stay in the mix. So I don't know if his race is done. But he's showing some restraint here, I think, more than anything, instead of just pushing flat out and wearing the tires out more than he needs to.
Yeah, I like what you said about restraint. It might just be a patience thing for G-Boon. And as we see, kind of approaching from the back, QRL Ramon, he's kind of starting to inch his way up towards those top three guys. He's pushing his way to the top two guys, and we might see him become a factor during the end of this first stint here. We could see G-Boon throw himself into the pits in the next lap or two. I'd expect Cost Mindset maybe to pit around lap 11, 12. I mean, only time will tell. We'll see if he wants to try and undercut G-Boon, but it wouldn't make sense if he has a longer tire life. But going down towards the back, it looks like BK, he's fallen all the way down towards the back, and Avira and Fluffy have kind of started to settle in their spots. Potty's got himself back up to 13th and ahead of Fire Gab, and Fire Gab is ahead of Kryptonic Swing in the Haas. Red Devil, he had that first lap incident. He's kind of started to claw his way back up from 20th and last, 19th and last, but we'll see if he can do anything. Redog, he's also struggling to kind of gain that lap time back. I think he threw himself into the pits to fix his front wing, and we'll see. But G-Boon has gotten around Cost Mindset, and I think it is just a patience game, as Entree said.
Yeah, I think it, and we're coming up. We're 3 laps. Well, they'll come around. They'll be on lap 9. Almost to the halfway point of this race. He's taking these softs halfway. He's still staying competitive with the medium. Maybe he's just looking. He may be just looking for a soft to medium strategy here. If he can push it up to almost to halfway or right at it, I think he'll be in good shape to finish out on the mediums. And I think he's just kind of seeing how they fare. As long as he's not losing time to Mindset and to Ramon, where he's like dropping back. I think we're going to see him continue to run those softs. Speaking of BK, he did pit and put on the hards, and that's put him back. He's made up a little bit of time. He's 9.5 seconds back, so he may be looking to gain some spots here with a big undercut onto those hards, or a little earlier than everyone else.
Yeah, and we see our first person into the pits. It's Fire Gab in the AlphaTauri. He is dove into the pits, and we'll see what tires he's going to put on. But we're also seeing a very racy J Supreme into this race, and we're having a lot of driver changes here. It looks like Techie Corgi has lost out to the Johnny Damon, and G-Boon has also lost out to Cost Mindset.
Yeah, I think that Boone Mindset battle, it's just back and forth. Ramon, he's just kind of hanging out back there as well. Probably on the same idea, but I think he's trying to just stay ahead, keep Jose out of DRS range, and he's not really interested in fighting with those top 2 guys yet. With half the race to go, I think he's picking his battles. And then, but Boone's teammate B-Shoals here, he's half a second behind Pucks, chasing him down for 5th place, and he may be looking to push a little harder, try and get a little more position on Pucks. They're both on the softs, so either that or they'll try and pit at the same time here.
Yeah, and we're about to see if our lead group is going to go into the pits It could happen right here. G-Boon tried to make a move on Cost Mindset going to the bus stop chicane, but he wasn't having it. G-Boon is not going to go into the pits. We'll see if anyone else in that top group does go into the pits, and it looks like B Scholes in the Ferrari. He's going to dive himself into the pits, and the softs lasted to about around lap 10. G-Boon, his softs must be struggling, and they're going to go ahead and put on the mediums. We'll see if that can go to the end of the race. It's about 12 laps to go here at this stage, and we're looking at a McLaren going into the pits, 2 McLarens going into the pits, and I mean, only time will tell to see if these tires work out.
Yeah, well, it looks like Potty stayed out. Avira dove in. He went to the hards. Car's been in the pits. He went to the hards, and we got Kryptonic in the pits. He's coming off the softs. He went to the mediums. So we've from 11th to 14th all on the hards, 15th, 16 on the mediums, 17, 18 on the hards, and then Kryptonic on the mediums in 19.
Yeah.
And then so 9th through 1st has yet to pit, and Potty in 11th.
Yeah, and I bet you G-Boon is kind of regretting not going into the pits on lap 9, because now QRL Ramon has gotten by him, and G-Boon is starting to lose out time. He's already lost a second to QRL Ramon. I really think he's starting to struggle on those softs, and he should pit right now if he wants to save his race.
Yeah, I agree. I believe we're going to see him jump into the pits here. He's losing that time now. Yeah, he's losing. He's lost a good chunk of time from first to down 1.5 seconds behind second place. And Mindset's jumping in the pits. Boone's jumping in the pits. Ramon's going to stay out, so they're going to have a little bit of an undercut on him. And I think they'll be able to get those positions back fairly quickly.
Yeah, so now Ronamoval moves himself into second place. QRL Ramon is now leading this race, and I'm honestly surprised Cost Mindset decided to go into the pits when he did. I mean, maybe he was just burning up those medium compounds, but he went in the same time as G-Boon did. But B Scholes is now ahead, or actually, sorry, never mind. G-Boon is still ahead of his teammate B Scholes, but not by much. The Ferraris, one Ferrari pits a lap earlier than another, and they're only 0.3 apart. We could see some teammate action here, and hopefully they call team orders and we don't see our Constructors Championship leaders, our Drivers Championship leader fall down because of a teammate incident. But we'll see if QRL Ramon pits this lap, as well as Ronamoval and Techie Corgi. They are in the top 3 right now, but virtually on the track, they are not in the top 3.
Yeah, speaking of the team orders, hate to say it, I think these boys might have a little more sense than the real life Ferrari strategists. I think they can work together a little better, and I don't look to see them fight too much with each other. I look to see them do a little teamwork here to catch up to Mindset and get ahead of these guys in front from 1st to 5th here when they hit the pits. So and that V-Charles will come out pretty well on this when they pit. He'll move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there's 5 guys ahead, so that'll move him up to somewhere between 5th and 3rd place. So he'll be set up pretty well when this happens. And actually, now G-Boon has just got a penalty. Just noticed. And I think that is it's a 3-second. So must have been track limits there.
Yeah, and that might ruin his chances of the victory here tonight, unless he can get ahead of Cost Mindset and really start to pull away. But I mean, B Scholes is he's kind of in a Goldilocks spot right now. All he really has to do is let G-Boon break the wind in front of him and just kind of follow behind, and they might see themselves fly up into the podium positions here.
Yeah. The only thing is if you stay behind someone too close, that dirty air, it's hard on the tires too, which they're on the mediums now with 10 laps to go. May not be as much of an issue as when he was running on the softs, but it's not great for the tires. Manageable, but not ideal.
And that's really unfortunate. Sorry to cut you off there. That's really unfortunate for B Scholes. He has a 3-second time penalty, as well as Potty. Lots of drivers getting track limits violations here. And All the drivers are right up the back of, it looks like Jay Supreme and Cost Mindset. Jay Supreme, his tires are struggling and he's going to start falling back. Will B-Shoals be able to get around Jay Supreme, who's on a different strategy, a completely different race before he ruins his own? Cost Mindset still in the lead. G-Boon following close behind. He does have fresher tires. Will he be able to get it past Cost Mindset? He's looking for it, and they're fighting Fluffy in third, and G-Boon is still riding the back of Cost Mindset as they're heading in through Sector 3 towards the bus stop chicane. We might see G-Boon try to outbrake the Mercedes, but no, he's not going to be able to. He's going to go ahead and get past Fluffy, but that's not going to be enough, and Fluffy's going to go ahead and dive into the pits here, and we'll see if G-Boon can get past him on this next DRS straight, or will the Mercedes be able to defend it behind from G-Boon. Cost Mindset has been looking very strong all race, but it's now B-Shoals in fourth place, and QR Ramon, who still hasn't pit. He has got a 14-second deficit to second place behind. He's going to have to pit soon, but G-Boon's going to go around the outside of the Mercedes. He has that DRS, and he's going to go ahead and fly by the Mercedes. Will B-Shoals also be able to get past Cost Mindset? It looks like he's not close enough. He's got about a second and a half, about half a tenth left to get himself into DRS range, and Cars Bennett's going to overtake Avira, and Avira is going to go down, finishing out the top 10. Red Devil, he's also started to catch up just a little bit. He's now into 11th place, and we'll see if Avira can, or sorry, we'll see if Red Devil can get himself into the top 10 before the end of this race.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't count out Red Devil just yet. Although, yeah, he's got those 11-lap mediums, or 11-lap hards. He's going to have to pit again before the end of this race, maybe. But if anybody understands tire wear, I think he's one that does. He may be trying to just see how long he can take it, but that's a long. I mean, that would be almost 22 laps with hard tires. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah,
so he'll be looking to pit at some point, and he'll lose some positions. But you know, we still got quite a bit of racing to go here. And with all these time penalties, that may end up helping him out there at the end as well.
Yep, and QR Ramon has finally gone into the pits here. His medium stint lasted about 14 laps, and he's going to go ahead and change onto, we'll see here, onto the softs. I couldn't see the stripe of the tire. He's going to be quick here. He is going to lose time a little bit. He should come out ahead of the Johnny Damon. It might be close. No, he's gonna have a good lap to the Johnny Damon, and G-Boon is now into the lead. He's gonna have to gain another second and a half. He's gonna have to double his current amount of lead to Cost Mindset behind if he wants to stay in first, because he does have that penalty, as well as his teammate and the other Ferrari. He also has a 3-second time penalty for a track limits violation. So no pucks given is in a technical podium right now, and we'll see if the Williams can keep their podium streak going.
Yeah, the time penalty is certainly going to be going to keep this interesting down to the wire. I think Boone has pace, but Mindset is looking so strong. You know, if he can just hang on there. He doesn't necessarily have to fight too hard. He just needs to keep a good gap to keep within a gap to Boone there, and he's set up for a podium today as it sits right now, or I mean he won today as it sits right now, and behind the guy behind has got B-Shoals has a penalty as well. Mindset looks like he's sitting in a pretty good spot right now, to be honest.
Yeah, he does have the tire disadvantage. He is on the hards, and the Ferraris around him are on the mediums, as Ranamoval puts himself into fourth place and go ahead and pass his no pucks given. He's on the softs. I mean, the tire deficit could cause some damage here, but I mean, Cost Mindset, he has so much pace. I think he might have a pace advantage over G-Boon because he is on the slower tire, but he's keeping up with him, and he has been this entire race. So we'll see if that's going to affect Cost Mindset enough to take him out of the win here tonight. But I mean, he's a very strong contender. I almost can't predict it at this stage of the race.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Boone has broke that DRS. Mindset's outside of the DRS range now, but they've been burning their ERS. I think Boone's under 10% now. Yeah, he's blinking. So And Mindset, he's got a little bit more, but not much. So he's been burning, trying to stay within. But Boone's been burning to keep him back. You know, they're both kind of almost sitting on E there, looking to build their battery back up now. But Boone has increased that gap to 2.25 seconds almost.
Yeah, and that's going to be crucial for Boone's race if he can get that time to about 3 seconds. He's getting close, but I mean, we'll see if that penalty is going to end up being the reason he loses out in this race. We have been seeing the Alfa Romeos starting to gain a little bit of pace here. J Supreme made an overtake, and Cars Ben is also trying to overtake Avira. And we'll see if both of the Alfa Romeos can finish out into the top 10. That'd be a fantastic result for them.
Yeah, Puck's just picked up a 3 second for track limits as well. So now that's kind of neutralized his advantage. He had to just stay, you know, he neutralized the advantage he had over B-Schultz there. So now he's just going to have to straight up get ahead of B-Schultz if he wants to gain a position. And you know, we still got we're right at lap 16 now. We've got 6 laps to go, and you know, I think we're going to see a few more track limits penalties before this is over with. As this race goes on and the cars get a little looser and guys trying to find some time and pushing a little too hard, it's very easy to get to violate track limits here. And you know, as the race goes on, those warnings just keep stacking up, and it only takes 3 before the penalty comes in. So I don't think we're done seeing these 3-second penalties yet.
Yeah, I don't think we are either. There's a lot of action down in the back. In 5th place, No Puck Skip is going to go around B-Schultz in the Ferrari. They both have a time penalty, so that kind of cancels it out. But QRL Ramon is going to put himself into 4th place. And Rana Mobile, he is gaining that time on his teammate in front. He is now in DRS range. Will Rana Mobile be able to pass his teammate Cost Mindset, or will they pull team orders and not let each other overtake? I mean, they are in contact with each other, or at least they should be in chats with each other, so they could be strategizing something here. But they are the team in the leading group that does not yet have a penalty. So if they can stay and keep it clean, they have a good chance of a 1-2 here tonight.
Yeah, and you know, he's caught up, but it's interesting to note. You know, we were speaking about battery earlier. Mindset, he's burning again. But up until he just burned a lot of battery there. I don't know if he's trying to keep him out of DRS range, or if he's just trying to catch Boone. But Boone, Mindset, and Rana they're all 3 pretty close in battery life left, and it's not looking great for him on the battery front. So you know, I think you know, Rana's catching up to Mindset. He's half a second behind. He's going to hit this DRS straight. He's got a good chance to get up there into 2nd place. But you know, they don't have much left in the tank to fight with 5 laps to go here.
Yeah, and it looks like Rana Mobile is going to try and make the overtake on his teammate, and he's going to fly past him with the DRS advantage into 2nd place. And it looks like that tire advantage on Cost Mindset has finally started to hit through, and now all Rana Mobile has to do with 5 laps left is make up that time deficit and make sure he stays within 3 seconds of G-Boon, and he's going to have the win here tonight. That is great for Rana Mobile.
Yeah, and if he has the pace advantage over Mindset, all Mindset needs to do is fall in behind, catch that slipstream, catch that DRS from him, and he can pull in and keep under that 3-second gap. They could both shoot up to a 1-2 finish. You know, as it is now, G-Boon will, I mean, it'll be close, but G-Boon would drop to 2nd and stay ahead of Mindset. But if Mindset can just hang on with his teammate there, they could shoot into a 1-2, which would be huge for Mercedes.
That would be huge for Mercedes, constructors-wise and drivers-wise. But we have seen some more penalties. Redog got a 3-second penalty, and so did Fire Gab. And Kryptonic Swang also gets a 3-second time penalty. Lots of track limits violations here tonight. But all Mercedes really has to do is keep it clean and let each other drive and take the DRS in the slipstream, and they're going to have a 1-2 here tonight. We are on lap 18 of 22. We are coming to the latter stages of this race, and I mean, a lot of pressure is on G-Boon to really keep that 3-second time gap, and he's managing to keep it just a little bit, but he's starting to lose time to Ranamoval behind. So let's go ahead and get your predictions down in chat. Who do you think is going to be able to come away with the win here tonight? Will it be the Ferrari of G-Boon, or will it be a Mercedes 1-2? We'll see. All we have left is 4 laps.
Yeah, this is certainly keeping us on our toes here. Mindset, he's catching up again. He's 4/10 back. Like I said, I don't think he's going to fight so much as just try to stay with him. They're leaving Ramon behind in 4th. He's 2 seconds back. Bischols, he's in 1.8 back. I think this top 3 here is really where we're going to see a lot of the fighting. Although they're in 11th, Avira, he's chasing Cars Ben for the last points paint spot. He's right on him. So we still got some more interesting things developing further down the field, but I think our top 3 here is really going to, we're really going to see some fireworks here maybe here towards the end of this race.
Yeah, and Techie Corgi as well. He's also pretty close to the Johnny Damon behind, but he does have that 3-second time penalty. So I don't really think Johnny Damon cares if he lets Techie Corgi by, so he probably isn't going to fight much of that battle. But B-Shoals and No Pucks Given, their time penalties are going to cancel out because the Johnny Damon is 6.2 seconds behind. So it really doesn't matter what happens to them. So they're fighting for a position even though they have penalties. And No Pucks Given is right next to B-Shoals. He looked like he was going to make an attempt down into the bus stop, but we're going to go and restart our laps here. And No Pucks Given could have the chance to overtake B-Shoals on lap 19 of this race into the first DRS zone, and we'll see how this develops through a Rouge. No Pucks Given is still fighting for that position. B-Shoals is doing everything he can. I think he's starting to run a little bit low on battery, and his tires might be starting to struggle. He did pit 1 lap earlier than G-Boon, who's also on the same compound, and it looks like No Pucks Given is going to try and swing around with DRS. He's going to have that 10-mile-an-hour advantage. It flies past the Ferrari of B-Shoals, and we'll see if B-Shoals can get by him before the end of this race to take back 5th place.
Yeah, and I think we've seen the Ferrari boys. They've set up their cars. They seem to have pretty good pace through this sector too. So I don't think he's going to get left behind here. But he will if he wants to get that 5th place position, keep that 5th place. He's going to have to get ahead of Pucks. They both have those 3-second penalties, and I don't think with 3 laps to go, something bad would have to happen for either of them to lose a spot to Johnny Damon in 7th. But they're really going to have to battle it out here to hold on to that 5th place here at the end of the race.
And that is really unfortunate for Cars Ben. He was coming around in Sector 2 and lost it all. And he spun trying to make an overtake on one of the McLarens. And he finds himself down in 18th. That was really unfortunate to watch for the Alfa Romeos. They were having a great race. They were looking to hopefully maybe both of them get to the top 10. But he lost it on lap 19. He only needed to go 3 more laps. That is so unfortunate to see. And that's really been our second incident of this race. And we haven't seen any safety cars, but we might see one with the battle between both of the Mercedes. They've been going back and forth. Now Cost Mindset is ahead of his teammate Ranamoval. But Ranamoval has DRS, so he could go right past him. It looks like Mercedes isn't really caring about team orders here.
Yeah, and maybe it's just Ron is on those softs. They're 7 laps old now. Mindset's on the hards. Maybe those softs they've lost their pace. He seems to be staying with Mindset at the time being, but maybe he's falling off here, and they know, and they're switching around. But at this point, Boone, he's starting to build a gap again as they're going back and forth. He's up to 2.7 seconds. He may just be able to eke out a 3-second gap here and hold on to that 1st place.
Yep, and we just got a notification. Cars Ben has retired from the race. That's pretty unfortunate to see. We'll see if G-Boon has enough pace left in those tires and enough battery to hopefully catapult himself into the lead. He's still in a technical 2nd place here. He only needs to gain about 2. And that's a big development. Cost Mindset has a 3-second time penalty. So now G-Boon, he's gonna be able to keep the lead.
Yeah, I mean now it's up to Rana to catch up, and I think he's too far back. I think he may be able to keep it to Mindset, get that 2nd place over Mindset. But I think Boone may just come out with the win here now. I don't. It's going to be awful tough for anybody to catch that. For Rana to make up a 4-second gap to Boone.
I think Cost mindset. Sorry, I think his tires are starting to struggle a little bit there. Coming out of the bus stop chicane, he got a little bit loose, and he had a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Rana Mobile is in second place, and G Boone, he is still in first. Wow. G Boone is probably smiling behind his steering wheel. All he has to do is take it around the lap twice, and Rana Mobile is going to go ahead and get past Cost Mindset into second place, and now QRL Ramon is looking at a podium.
Oh yeah, that's Ramon. He's just been plugging away, sticking with it. Now all he has to do is he has to keep that, stay within that 3 seconds, and yeah, that'll bring him into a podium spot when it almost looked like he was just out of the, he was in the points, but we had kind of forgot about him for the podium conversation. And he's just kind of chilled out, ran his own race, and brought himself back into it. So,
it's working out for him.
Gotta give him credit there.
Yeah, he's just been plugging away, like you said. He's just been down in the back, and he's had a very quiet race, not much action around him. And I mean, he managed to avoid the contact in lap 1, and ever since then, he's just been doing his own race, running his own laps, and now he finds himself looking at a podium.
Yeah, that'll be if he can keep that gap. I mean, that'll be 2 weeks in a row he's come away with the podium with the P3 finish.
Yeah.
No, sorry, he got P2 last week, but it'll be his second podium in a row. 2 weeks in a row to have a podium. That'll be huge for him either way. And it looks like he's actually making up a little bit of time there to Mindset as well. He's brought the gap to under 2 seconds. So he's looking pretty strong for that P3 spot.
Yeah, and G Boone turned up the jets on this last lap. It looks like he is deploying all of his battery. He is making sure that he is keeping that first place here tonight. He's got over a second on that penalty to be able to stay in the lead. G Boone, he had a 4.1 second gap. Now it's back down to around 3.8. He's got 0.8 to play with there. If Rana Mobile ends up trying to overtake Cost Mindset at the end of this race. We are on the final lap of this race tonight here, ladies and gentlemen. And I mean, it's still looking like
Rana Mobile wreck out.
Oh, I think Fire Gab is out of this race. Both of the Alpha Tauris are out of this race, and Cars Ben is out of this race as well. Orlando and BK, two of the Red Bulls, they're fighting as well for position. It looks like Johnny Damon is trying to get past Teki Corgi at the end of this race. Will he be able to get that overtake done and stick it to be able to get himself into 7th place? But G Boone, he's on the final lap, and he's coming around through Sector 3. He's had a stressful race, but he got lucky after Cost Mindset had a fault behind him. And all Cost Mindset had to do was keep it clean. But all G Boone did was keep it clean. And he's going to come home to win here in Spa. Oh, wait, sorry. One more lap. Or I think that's it. Nope. He won.
No, that is it.
Rana Mobile is going to come home to take 2nd place. And QRL Ramon is going to get 3rd. Cost Mindset is going to have an unfortunate 4th. B Scholes is in 5th. Great race from him. No pucks given. He didn't manage to keep that Williams streak going on the podium, but still a fantastic race from him. The Johnny Damon's going to get up into 7th. He's going to be able to pass Teki Corgi on that final lap. Fluffy is going to be in 9th, and Avira is going to round out the top 10. Jay Supreme is going to be in 11th. BK and Orlando, the two Red Bulls, 12th and 13th. Potty in 14th. 15th from Kryptonic Swing, and an unfortunate race, an unfortunate first lap incident from Red Devil in the Williams. He's going to find himself down in 16th. Fire Gab and Redog, they both retired in this race. That's an unfortunate spot for them to find themselves in, but G Boone managed to beat the penalties and come out on top, and congratulations to Teki Corgi as he wins Driver of the Day. Great race from him as well.
Yeah, that was a lot. There's a lot going on there. I mean, a very clean race. the lap one incident there, and then car's been spinning there at the end, and that was really the only incidents we had this whole race. Very clean. A lot of great racing. Saw some great overtakes. A lot of back and forth. I just hard to ask for anything more than that. That's just we've seen a lot of great racing here at AM1, and this race didn't disappoint either.
Yeah, and we're going to be back here at 8 p.m. CDT, 9 p.m. EST for another race next week. But don't leave just yet. We're going to hear from our drivers here in just a second. But if we're looking at the race results here, G-Boom's going to find himself with 25 more points to add to his to his driver's championship lead. And very, very clean race from the gentleman tonight. Great race here in AM1, and hopefully we'll be able to get the drivers in shortly for their interviews. So we're going to interview our podium drivers, G Boone, Ronamoval, and QRL Ramon. All right. Do we have G Boone here?
Yep. What's up?
Sorry, 1 second. I think I have.
All
Can
right.
you hear me?
Okay.
Yep, we can hear you. Wow. Weren't you smiling behind your steering wheel tonight? That was you must have been. What were you feeling when you saw that Cost Mindset got that penalty and you knew that you had a chance to win that race?
A few fist pumps, couple screams. Yeah, pretty good news to see that pop up on the screen. A lot of relief for sure, but I mean, until that showed up, lots of pressure. I had to, keep locked in and make sure I didn't make any mistakes. But it was definitely tough, and that eased up and let me relax a little bit at the end.
Yeah, and another question I had was, were you scared that y'all might have to double stack with both people on the same strategy? Both of y'all were on the softs and went to the mediums.
Yeah, so we had talked about that before. The original plan was for me to pit lap 9, which is actually earlier than I actually did. So I was going to pit lap 9 and go to the mediums, and Schultz's plan was to pit lap 8 and go to the hards to get the undercut and try to take those to the end. But then we kind of shifted those all back because I stuck with the medium runners at the front. So I went lap 10 instead, and he went lap 9 instead. So we were definitely making sure to communicate and make those calls along the way.
Yeah, but I mean, y'all had a fantastic race down at Ferrari. Y'all should be very proud of yourselves, and congratulations on the win here tonight.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right, let's go ahead and Ronamoval, are you there?
Yep, right here.
Well, congratulations on the podium here tonight. You had a fantastic race. Was there any team strategy going on there? Both of the Silver Arrows were battling a little bit towards the end of that race. What was going on in your comms chat there?
Yeah, well, in the first place, before my tires dropped up, I thought I could get Boone on pens, but like 2 laps to the end, the tires just left, and I had a massive dropout, and he gained like a second on me. So, yeah, from there onwards, it was a bit of a miscommunication. Actually, not a miscommunication. It was just dumb from me because I never realized that Ramon was catching Mindset on pens, and if I hadn't battled him, which I generally was trying to be fast and catch Boone, but if I hadn't battled Mindset, he could have gone P3 on pens. I mean, he could have gone plus. I mean, more than 3 seconds ahead of Ramon, and yeah, that might have been my fault, which I didn't even take into consideration, and I really should have. But yeah, that's the thing at the end with my teammate.
Well, you had a fantastic race. Were you close? Like, how many warnings did you have on track limits, if you had any at all? Because I know a lot of drivers were struggling with that, and it mainly came down to whether or not you were keeping it out on the track tonight.
No, just one warning, and I think it was lap 1. Yeah, just that one warning, and once I got the hang of Puhan and how much I could push, I think I managed track limits very well. And yeah, it never was an issue for me, although it has been on other races. But this one, hopefully, I mean, luckily, it wasn't.
Well, fantastic race from you tonight. Congratulations, and you had a great race.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Of course. And QRL Ramon, are you here?
Yes.
Well, again, congratulations to you on the podium. You avoided the lap 1 incident there. How did you manage to avoid that? It looked like you were going to get caught right in the thick of it.
I don't know how I avoid that. It was so close. Jiboon was a little bit lucky. He almost gone in the walls. So I don't know how I avoid that. It was because I think it's Red Devils. I think
Yeah, it was Red Devil.
Yeah, it was Red Devil. Okay. So no, I don't know how I avoid that. I have the clip. Yeah, it was very very close at this lap.
Well, you did fantastic to avoid it. Were you like, what was your strategy? Because it looked like you were just kind of quietly sitting back, and then all of a sudden, after that 3-second time penalty, you had a chance to get yourself on the podium. Were you like, were you scared that you might not be able to do it, or did you know that once that 3-second penalty was placed, that you had a chance at the podium tonight?
Yeah, when the coast mindset took the penalty, I was very happy because I thought I will have a better pace on the soft, and no, I think hard will be a better strategy, like what coast mindset did. But yeah, without a penalty, I think I never got the podium if mindset didn't have this penalty. But yeah, it was. I was very happy because I took the not the good setup. I took the wrong setup, so I was I was really sure that it will not go well for that race, but it's good. It's good. It was good.
Hey, you know what? It all worked out in the end, and congratulations on the podium. But ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it from us tonight. And Electric, you got anything else you want to say?
No, I think you pretty well covered it. We will be back next Thursday, 8 p.m. for some more AM1 action. Be sure you follow us on Twitch here, _Formula1, part of the on track action. Be sure to join our Discord, which will be linked in the chat. And we'd love to have you come on out. Like I've said before, we have 3 AM1 American tiers, 4 European tiers. We are trying to get an Oceanic tier started as well, and possibly a PC only tier. But currently, we are cross-play, open to all platforms, open to most assists. So we have racing for all levels, a lot of good action on track, and we'd love to have you. So feel free to check out the Discord and join us here here at Contest of Speed.
Yeah, and we will see you guys next week. Good night.
Good night.